But now I have to talk mainstream politics, and campaigning ahead of the NDC's November 21 primaries is heating up in the Ayawaso East constituency.
The three aspirants, including the incumbent Alhaji Nasser Mahama, toured on Sunday the constituency meeting to meet delegates ahead of the polls.
With barely a week for the NDC parliamentary primaries to get underway, campaigns for votes seem to be gaining momentum with each passing day. The venue, perhaps symbolic, Nima, the most populous community in the constituency. It was a chance for the three parliamentary aspirants of the Ayawaso East constituency to reach out to those who may have been sitting on the fence, the undecided. An aspirant, Haruna Muhammad, put forward his case as he sought the mandate of the delegates.
Job creation and creating job opportunities for the youth. Because when you look around, one of the things that has been bedeviling us in this economy is the lack of jobs. So we're going to make sure that we go out there and whatever it takes to get to build the human capacity, the youth, so that they'll be able to have the skills training, they'll be able to have the kind of educational opportunities that they need, so that they can grow up to be the best that they can be for themselves.
The campaigns have been much of what the candidates hope to or will do, but Ali Isa, one of the aspirants, spoke severally about his track record and loyalty to the party.
I'm the past immediate vice chairman of the constituency. Last year when I contested the constituency election, I won by 2/3 majority. And I believe that that mandate, that clear mandate, is going to be repeated. And I'm sure that I'm going to win the election by over 2/3. And the delegates are aware. I've done what I'm supposed to do. I've served the party from the grassroots level to the constituency level.
In a statement read on his behalf, Member of Parliament for the area, who is also seeking re-election, Alhaji Nasser Mahama Toure, promised to improve education, healthcare, and also provide youth empowerment opportunities as a catalyst for economic growth. He added that he will support traders relocate from unapproved places to well-designed structures where their safety and health will be guaranteed.
To improve the barriers to socio-economic growth by standing up for the many, not the few, and through collective leadership approach that thrives on the compelling commitment to creating entrepreneurial skills and accompanying opportunities for the growth of youth, market women, and operators in both formal and informal sector. Schools in the constituency which are in need of either renovation or additional classroom blocks are being given the necessary attention in these few years.
Mahama Toure also said he will foster peace and unity among the traditional leaders and empower women through the provision of soft loans and equip them with skills. Ridwan Karim Dini Osman, East Ayawaso constituency, Accra.
We'll see how that goes. Politics, we know it's hitting. And when you tend to see these things, it means that the electioneering is just right at your doorstep. But let's look at this. And the 36-year-old man who lost one eye as a result of alleged police brutality during a protest to push for a new voters register has successfully undergone a surgical operation to replace his damaged left eye with an artificial one.
Though Justice Ajakuma cannot see with his artificial eye, he is happy with his new look.
Justice Ajakuma lost one eye during a clash with the police during the Let My Vote Count Alliance demonstration on September 16, 2015 to demand for a new electoral register. The father of two and a trader claimed he was shot in the eye by the police. Doctors at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital in Accra have performed a surgical operation to replace his damaged left eye with an artificial one.
I'm very happy to get in my new eye. Okay, the time the accident happened, so they sent me to the military hospital. From there, they do the operation for me to realize that the eye spoiled. So from there, they do everything finished. So they sent me to Kolebu Eye Clinic. From there, before the doctor, he makes some things before he face the eye. So from there, before they finish everything from 37 military hospital. From there, they send me to Kolebu. Kolebu, yeah. If you Kolebu before they will fix the eye
See
for
with
me.
your eye. Can you see with both eyes now?
No, I can't see with both eyes. I see with only one eye. Because they just fix this one for me to look like how I am first. And so because of that, they fix that thing for me, but I can't see with that eye.
He said the cost of the surgery and the contact lens, which was 800 and 200 respectively, have been duly paid by the Let My Vote Count Alliance.
Okay, from 37 to Kolebu, I can't talk about the 37, but Kolebu one is like the time the doctor finish everything, the bill he give me is like 800 Ghana. That means 8 million. Before this space, say 2 million, so all be 10,000 Ghana. So
how did you pay? How did you pay for all this?
Okay, Let My Vote Count people pay these things all for me.
How do you feel about all this?
Oh, the first time I felt so bad, but how they face it now, if they tell you that I can't see you that once, if you don't know, but I'll take it like that. It happened already. So everything I'll take it to God, that's all.
Justice, who is yet to start a shoe business again, is appealing for support to cater for his family. Matilda Pomaga for Joy News.
Oh, wish him well, Justice Ajakuma. And tertiary institutions across the country, they've been urged to pay particular attention to programs that equip students with entrepreneurial skills in order to reduce the increasing rate of graduate unemployment.
Speaking at the 9th congregation of the Maranatha University here in Accra, the Member of Parliament for Ayawaso East, Shirley Ayoko advised graduates to eschew laziness and take initiatives geared towards economic growth.
We are currently faced with massive youth unemployment, and tertiary education should ensure that student graduates are equipped with skills that enables them to innovate and create new business opportunities. Our institutions of higher learning, such as yours, must reflect these changes and teach the technical and entrepreneurial skills needed in today's world. The modern world demands that we rely more on our human capital and its ability to produce growth and new jobs through innovation and innovation. This is one of the social responsibilities of tertiary education and research that we need to explore further in the 21st century. Mr. Chairman, for Maranatha College to successfully fulfill its educational, research and informational functions in this 21st century, the university needs to be able to respond effectively to the changing education and training needs, adapt to a rapidly shifting tertiary education landscape, and adopt more flexible modes of organization and operation.
Businesses, big or small, need effective board of directors to be successful in the long term.
Well, that's according to Deputy Group Managing Director of Cost Sharers Group, OK Wuke. But how different should the structure of a governing board be from the managing team to be efficient? He explains.
I think one of the ways to do that is for every board to have its own target in terms of setting clearly this is what we plan to achieve for the company, so that we can begin to check whether the board is adding value. If they're not adding value, the shareholders, we know. You told us you're going to do this. You told us in 5 years we will get here. You told us this is what we'll see. We are not seeing it. So the board members will know and be under pressure that they're not achieving the objective they communicated. Because when you set the board target, you communicate it. You know, at annual general meetings, in the public financials, that agenda is set. And then once there's a measure, you know, the boss and the directors will be under pressure to know that people are watching, the owners are watching, the shareholders are watching, the community is watching. And then I think those are some of the ways to ensure that the board members work. And the truth is, again, from the way you structure the board, if you structure the board in such a way that it makes it difficult to function, then of course you will not function. So that's why we look for, in terms of diversity, in terms of, you know, experience, in terms of, some people talk about gender, you know, we find out that in boards where you have only men, is that sometimes people just talk in one direction. put one lady there, changing the direction and perspective. So gender equally is an important issue when you're talking about structure and composition of a board.
There have been calls from various groups for government to either stop or reduce its borrowing rate.
The minority New Patriotic Party caucus in Parliament, for instance, has expressed concern over the rise in public debts and is asking government to bring the excessive borrowing to an immediate end. The Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, for example, has also admonished government to stop borrowing to pay debts. ISA is worried about government's recurrent expenditure, which it says is unsustainable in relation to the gap in revenue. But President Mahama says government cannot stop borrowing and that borrowed monies are being invested properly.
I don't need to get into an argument on infrastructure with the MPP, because I've heard after the budget people say infrastructure to GDP is something. I mean, don't talk about infrastructure. Because if it's infrastructure, education, health, water, electricity, roads, you cannot compare that record. In the short period we've been in power, yes, we've spent money. Yes, we've spent money on infrastructure. And it is necessary to spend money on infrastructure. They accuse us of borrowing a lot. But you can see the results of the borrowing. If you have a business and you need capital and you don't have the capital, what do? You go to the bank and borrow. If you borrow and you invest, then it's not a wrong thing. It's a positive thing because that investment will pay off. All the hospitals we built around this country, you think that the good health it will give Ghanaians is not an investment and that is not worth it? We've spent more than $1.5 billion building health facilities, polyclinics, hospitals, district hospitals, CHIPS compounds. You call that a waste? Ghanaians don't deserve good health. They have national health insurance cards, and yet there's no health facility in their community. What's the use? And so we go and put a polyclinic in the community, and you call that a waste, and you say we borrow too much. The roads, we're doing the roads all over the country. We're doing regional capital road improvement projects, and we started in Accra. Some of the roads that we have started doing are in front of the same MPP people's houses. They wake up in the morning and suddenly they see asphalt on their road. Where do they think the money is coming from?
The Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital, in collaboration with the College of Physicians and Surgeons, has begun a process to improve the survival rate of accident victims and severe trauma patients.
The two institutions have signed a memorandum of understanding with Advanced Trauma Life Support International to train doctors from diverse backgrounds on how to effectively treat patients with serious or life-threatening injuries. The course is starting with 16 selected doctors and will eventually cover doctors across the country.
We will now promulgate a national ATLS, Advanced Trauma Life Support Training Program in Ghana under the auspices of ATLS International. The difference, as I've mentioned, is this time it's going to be a nationwide effort. It's going to involve more and more doctors, different teams of specialists. Indeed, any doctor or specialist who is involved in trauma care will eventually benefit from this nationwide training effort. We're not really aiming to reinvent the wheel and change the way or introduce new methods of training. What we're aiming to do is to rope in the numbers of doctors who have, if you like, a good knowledge of a simple, safe, effective method which is consistently applied to treating trauma patients, so that in the end, we can actually improve the care that injured patients get and improve survival rates. So we are not introducing new technology as such. Obviously, the ATLS program is comprehensive and is updated every 4 or so years. But we are teaching a method which is simple, which is safe, which is effective to as many doctors as we can find. And we hope that through this, patient care will improve and benefit.
That's a medical doctor. All right, so that'll be it for the news. And as always, we have to bring you what the stories are on the front and back pages of the various newspapers. And majoronline.com foremostly has those summarized stories in there. We'll bring you a lot more of those stories, and we'll bring you some detailed stories from other online portals.
Yeah, and we'll have a conversation that's been trending, particularly on Facebook. What's the big deal if people want to empathize or sympathize with friends? That is also coming up pretty shortly here on our show. Stay with us.
All right, back.